When we are trying to decide if two triangles are similar, there are two main things that we look at. The first thing that we're looking at is to see whether our coordinating angles, our corresponding angles, are going to be equal. So the two triangles that we have here in example 1 is triangle DEF and triangle QRS. Now it doesn't tell me how to name this triangle, so when it does not, you usually will list it alphabetically. So from these names, I can tell that D and Q should match. So if I look at the image, angle D and angle Q are both 40 degrees. Then if I look at angles E and R, E is 106, R is 106, so those correspond. And let's see, lastly, I have angles F and S, and that one's 34 and that one's 34. So those do correspond. So that's the first thing that you're looking for. If your angles, your matching angles are not equal, you're done. The two shapes are not similar figures. The second thing that we look at when we are determining similar figures is corresponding sides. Corresponding sides works the same way. So if I have triangle DEF and triangle QRS, then I'm looking at, let me pick a different color here. I'm looking at first two letters to first two letters. And I'm going to make that ratio. First, I'm going to color code my triangle. DE is here and QR is here. And I'm going to make that ratio. DE to QR, that is 7 to 21. Next, I'm going to look at EF to RS, EF to RS, and make that ratio. So EF is 8 and RS is 24. And then my last side here is usually our first letter to our last letter. So from here to here and here to here. So that ratio is 12 and 36. Now, what number do you put on top and what number do you put on bottom, you may be asking? It doesn't matter, sort of. If this is the one that you put on top and this is the one that you put on bottom for your first ratio, then you need to do that every time. You have to be consistent with it. Now, to determine if these are similar, I have to know if each one will simplify to the same ratio or fraction. So 7 over 21, I'm going to change colors here. 7 over 21, I can divide that by 7. And 7 will go in here 1 time. 7 will go in here 3 times. The second ratio, I can simplify by 8s. 8 will go in here 1 time, and 8 will go in here 3 times. The third ratio, I can simplify by 12s. 12 will go in the numerator 1 time, and 12 will go in the denominator 3 times. Because all 3 fractions simplified to the same amount, to the same ratio / fraction, then yes, this is how you prove these two figures are similar.